Hi, my name is Edmond Byrne and I want to give you an overview of research possibilities and opportunities in process and chemical engineering at University College Cork. So process and chemical engineering is a relatively small discipline within the School of Engineering and Architecture at UCC. We have 10 academic staff members plus an adjunct professor among a cohort of about 14 staff overall. Among that we have a number of Eli Lilly supported staff members. So pharmaceuticals and biopharmaceuticals are a key research interest among staff members. So is food, and food and pharmaceuticals are products that constitute over 60% of exports from the Republic of Ireland and are therefore key products on the industrial landscape both in Cork and across the island. Staff are also involved in research in other areas, and if you're interested I suggest have a look at our disciplinary website, which is given on the screen at the moment, and go to individual staff profiles and you can see the areas that individuals are interested and researching in. In the broader context, Horizon Europe is the programme for research across the EU over the next several years, and that has a number of pillars of which our own discipline and staff members are involved in researching in, including food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment, also health, also climate, energy and mobility, digital industry and in creative culture and inclusive societies. We're also chemical engineers, and our adjunct professor at LASI is in fact the VP for Learning Society in the Institute of Chemical Engineers, and they have been developing, and she has been developing a roadmap for the future of chemical engineering as a profession and in research areas which incorporate looking at the global grand challenges for engineering and the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals by showing chemical engineering matters and providing professional and technical leadership. And in this context, areas like health and wellbeing, food and nutrition and energy are important areas of interest in research for chemical engineers, all in the broader context of sustainability. And you can see there are a number of issues and concerns that also are involved there, of which UCC process and chemical engineering academics and researchers are interested in. The UN Sustainable Development Goals were mentioned there, as are in Horizon Europe and across all research programs. So that's something also that's very important to ourselves. So there are three key research pillars or areas that staff are involved in. One is biopharmaceuticals, pharmaceuticals and health. Particles is another one, and there's some overlap between the two of those, including in the area of food. And also in the area of food we have engineering for sustainability, which transcends each of those two previous pillars as well. So staff involved in research in pharmaceuticals, biopharmaceuticals and health cover a number of the areas that are listed there, even though this list isn't entirely exclusive or inclusive of all areas. It gives a good overview of the type of work that is done. Similarly, particles, and there are a number of areas of both pharmaceuticals and indeed in food that researchers are engaged. And finally, engineering for sustainability, there are a number of facets associated with that the staff are actively involved in researching. So staff are also affiliated with a number of research institutes across UCC, and postgraduate students may be involved with them if they're working on particular areas. For example, the Environmental Research Institute is based in UCC, and that's affiliated and associated with MARI, the Marine and Renewable Energy Institute, which is a national institute based in UCC, as well as some other universities across Ireland. UCC Food Institute is another institute that a number of staff are affiliated with, and work is also done through the Tyndall National Institute. So a lot of graduate engineers work in industry and don't go on to do PhDs and so on, but those who do often end up in academia as lecturers, professors, researchers, also working in industry, particularly in research and development and also on management tracks. They may use their research expertise to develop entrepreneurial startups, their companies themselves, or they may go into consultancy, either engineering consultancy or more general consultancy. So if you're interested in pursuing a PhD or an MHSC in process and chemical engineering at UCC, there are a couple of ways of doing that from a funding perspective. The first is if the academic secures some funding as a principal investigator, they will advertise that in a particular area, and then you can apply when that's advertised. So we don't have a program whereby there are a number of available PhD opportunities available each year, for example, but there are PhD opportunities available on an ongoing basis. So have a look and see what's available online. Secondly, you may be self-funded. That's where a graduate student wins their own funding, so for example through IRCSET, or they may be industry supported or indeed self-supported, and this can include part-time PhD work. So they may have the support of an industry that they're working in, and if that's the case, then you should contact a relevant academic involved in the area that you're interested in to discuss opportunities within that. So that's an overview. Hopefully you found it of use.